Hey everyone. So today we're going to tackle a word you've probably heard thrown around a lot, especially online. Defamation. It's a huge topic, and it's more important than ever to understand. We're going to get into what it really means when words cause harm and what the law actually says about it. So let's just start with a super common scenario. You're scrolling online, you see a 1-star review for a restaurant, maybe a really scathing post about a local business. And you might wonder, whoa, is that even legal? Can you actually get sued for saying something negative online? Well, the answer is, it's complicated. And it all boils down to this legal idea of defamation. So what is defamation? At its core, it's about harming someone's reputation by making a false statement. And this is key. It's not just about being mean or having a negative opinion. It's about stating something untrue as if it's a cold, hard fact. And that lie causes real damage to how other people see that person or that business.
Okay, so defamation isn't just one single thing. The law actually splits it into two main types, and the difference is pretty simple. Was the statement written down, or was it just spoken?
And that brings us to libel and slander. Libel is the one you see most often today. It's defamation in a permanent form. Think written words, blog posts, social media, even TV shows. Slander, on the other hand, it's temporary. It's the spoken word, something said in a conversation that isn't recorded. But it's funny, in today's world, those lines are getting really blurry. I mean, a spoken comment filmed on a phone can go viral and become just as permanent as any newspaper article, right?
And that idea of permanence is exactly why libel has always been seen as the more serious of the two. A written post can be shared and reshared forever, causing huge lasting damage. For slander, because it was just spoken words that vanished into the air, the person claiming they were harmed usually had to prove they lost actual money because of it. It was a much higher bar to clear.
All right, so let's say you believe someone has defamed you. How do you actually prove that in a court of law? Well, it's not about your feelings being hurt. The law has a really specific checklist, a 3-part test that the person making the claim has to pass.
And honestly, this is where most defamation cases just completely fall apart. Winning is not easy. You have to provide solid proof for 3 separate things. It's a high hurdle, and you have to clear all 3. No exceptions. The burden is entirely on the person who says they were wrong.
So here it is, the checklist. Number 1, the statement itself has to be defamatory. Number 2, it has to be crystal clear the statement is about you. And number 3, it had to be published to at least one other person. So let's break each of these down.
First up, what makes a statement defamatory? This is probably the biggest one, and it all comes down to fact versus opinion. You can say, I think that restaurant's food is disgusting. That's your opinion. It's protected. But if you say, that restaurant serves rat meat, you're stating that as a fact. If it's not true and it hurts their reputation, then that could be defamatory. See the difference? Next, the statement has to point to a specific person. And here's the interesting part. They don't have to use your name. If someone posts online, the marketing director at XYZ company who drives a red car is stealing from petty cash, and you're the only person who fits that description, well, people are going to know it's about you. The key word here is identifiable.
And finally, publication. Now, this word trips a lot of people up. In the legal world, publish doesn't mean it was in a book or a magazine. It just means the statement was communicated to a third party. If someone says something awful and false directly to you, in private, with no one else around, that's not defamation. But the moment they text it, email it, or say it to just one other person, boom, it's been legally published.
So now that we have that 3-part test, you can start to see how it applies to literally everything, from a Yelp review to a viral video. These rules aren't just for lawyers in a courtroom. They're basically the guardrails for our digital lives. They shape that constant tension between our right to speak our minds and the need to protect people from lies that can ruin their lives.
All right, so let's just recap the absolute must-knows. First, defamation is about a false statement of fact that hurts someone's reputation. It's not about a negative opinion. Second, libel is the permanent kind, like an online post, while slander is the temporary, spoken kind. And finally, to win a case, you've got to hit all 3 points on that test. The statement was defamatory, it was about you, and it was shared with someone else.
And really, this all leads to the big question we're all dealing with, right? We value free speech, but we also believe that people shouldn't have their reputations and lives destroyed by lies. In a world where a single post can travel the entire globe in seconds, and every single one of us is basically a publisher, finding that balance is one of the toughest challenges we face. It's definitely something to think about the next time you hit post.